Hey guys, CB here. Today I'm going to show you how to make this menu, a very basic menu, inside of Unreal Engine 5. That being said, let's go ahead and get started and let's jump right in. This is my game. When I press play, it works. But this is not necessarily the level that I want to build the menu in. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to create a new level. And this level is called third person. I'm going to go ahead and under content, and I'm going to start a new, I'm going to just make a new folder called levels. And I'm going to go back to third person. I'm going to take this level and I'm going to put it in levels because that's where I want it to be. Okay. All right. I'm also going to create a new level, and that new level is going to be where I actually build my menu system. So I'm going to just come up to File, New Level, and it doesn't need to have anything in it. I'm going to go ahead and make an empty level, hit Create, and then File, Save Current Level As, and we want it to be in levels, and I'm just going to call this Start Level, or actually we'll call it Menu Level, and we will hit save. And this is the level we're actually going to build our menu in, and then this level over here, the one that we were just in, that's going to be the beginning of our game. So if you come up to edit, go down to project settings, and then come over to maps and modes, you'll notice that by default, if you were just to start building in that default level, that level third person, that the editor is going to start you in that level. And that might be fine, but what we're going to do is we want it now to start us off in the menu level. And we also want the default map to go ahead and be in the menu as well. Okay. Now when we press play, this is, we're staying right here, and that's okay. Under content, I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to create another folder. And I'm going to call this widgets. Double click in here, and we are going to create a new widget, but it's actually under user interface, widget blueprint, user widget. Go ahead and click on that. And we're going to call this start menu. Actually, let's do widget underscore start. Double click on it and put this in our tab up here. And first thing I'm going to bring in is a canvas panel. And then in that canvas panel, I'm going to bring in an image. And on that image, I'm going to come over to actually what I need. These are technically textures. They don't really belong in the widgets folder, but this is going to be a pretty quick video, so I'm just going to leave them there for now. And I'm going to come over to start, and I want this brush texture right here. I want it to actually be the image. I'm going to go ahead and click on, mine is called door.png, so door. And then size that to content. That is the size of it, but we're going to actually enlarge it beyond that because we are going to make it about roughly that size, or the size of my canvas panel, which my canvas panel is actually set to 1280 by 720. If you want it bigger, smaller, you can go ahead and do that just by resizing it. All right, I'm also going to drop in some text. So over here, type in text, grab that text, and we're going to drop that on the canvas panel as well. And let's go to font. Let's make it quite a bit larger, something like that. I'm going to anchor this one in the top right, and I can go ahead and change. You'll notice that the position did not change along with the anchor, and that is because I forgot to hold Control and Shift. So what I can do is I can come down here to position, and I can just reset the position, and that will set it here. But then alignment, you're going to want to type 0.5 and 0.5. And then center justification, and then change this to start menu. There we go. We have a start menu. Now compile, save, hit play, and you'll notice, oh, I don't see it yet. And the reason for that is we actually need to come up here into the menu. And there's a few different ways to do this, but the way that we're going to use it is we're actually going to tie the graphic user interface, or in this case, the start menu, to the level blueprint. So when the level blueprint initiates, it's going to trigger that start menu. So up here where it says list of world blueprints available to the user, I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and I'm going to come down to open level blueprint. And we're going to go ahead and delete the event tick because we will not need it for this. And on the event begin play, I'm going to go ahead and grab off the execution pin, and we're going to create widget. And then the widget that we're going to create is, you guessed it, the start menu. And then we will grab off the execution pin and add to viewport. And you can find it right here, add to viewport. All right, compile, save. Oops, we forgot to take the return value and plug it right into the target. Compile, save, hit play, and now we have a start menu. Excellent, halfway there. Now let's go back over to the start menu and let's create a couple buttons. I'm going to come up to the top and I'm just going to type in button, bring that down and drop it on the canvas panel. And I'm going to rename this button to start button. And then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to grab a text and I'm going to drop that onto the start button. It's very important that you drop it onto the start button and not just onto the canvas panel. And I'm going to call this txt underscore start. And over where it says text block, I will type in start game. Maybe make it a little bit bigger, something like that. And then over where on start button, actually click size to content, and that will just make it the same size or big enough to fit around the actual text there. I'm going to hit start button. I'm going to come up to anchors, and I want to anchor it to the center. But you'll notice down here it says hold shift to update the alignment to match, hold control to update the position to match. So if I hold down control and shift at the same time, and then I hit this button, it will align it directly to the center of the screen, which is exactly what I want. Now I'm just going to copy and paste this 2 times, Control C and then Control V. And it's going to give me 2 more versions of the exact same button. I'm going to go ahead and rename this one to the options button. And the text will be txt options. And this button is going to be the exit button. And you guessed it, txt exit. And this one will be exit game. And then this one will be game options. Or just options. Let's just do options. Make it easy. All right, so options for position. The Y is up and down, and I want it to be lower. So let's go ahead and, oh, that's too far. Let's just go ahead and lower it a bit. And then exit button again for position. Let's go ahead and reset the X. And then we will just drop this down a little bit. And there's a bunch of different ways I could use. I could actually put this into a vertical box, and I could pad it and whatnot, get the same effect. But this is going to be fine for now. Also, these buttons could be replaced with images. They could be replaced with animated things. But for this purposes, we're just going to make a simple one. So that's what we're going to do. We're actually going to make the exit button. So click on the exit button and make sure is variable is selected. If this box up here is not selected, then you will not see these events down here. And the one we're looking for is actually on clicked. So when I click this, I want it to go to an exit out of the game. So let's go ahead and click on this little plus symbol. And that's going to take us over to the graph. You notice that we are now on the graph. I can go back to designer and then switch back over to the graph if I want to do anything. It's where we're going to do all of our blueprinting. So on clicked, pull off the execution pin and just type exit game. Oh, I'm sorry, quit game. And for this one, it's that simple. I'm just going to select all that, hit C on my keyboard, and then I'm just going to call this quit game. I'm going to change the color to like a red maybe. There we go. Compile, save. Let's go ahead and test this out. Here's my start menu game. If I hit start game, nothing. If I hit options, nothing. But if I hit exit game, it exits out of the game, which is exactly what we want. There's one thing I didn't really talk about. If I hit play and I go in and I click something other than one of these buttons, you'll notice that we now can no longer see our cursor, which is no good. So let me hit escape to get out of that if you happen to have done this already. I'm going to go into the menu level, and one thing I want to do is event begin play. After the add to viewport, I'm going to go ahead and right click somewhere on the screen here, and I want to get the player controller. So get player controller. And I want to pull off this blue pen and show mouse. So set show mouse cursor. You'll notice it gives us a true false boolean. Connect that pin, and where it says show mouse cursor, I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Compile and save. And now if I hit play and I click anywhere inside of the start menu, even if it's not on a button, I will still keep my cursor. So that's just it. There's a chance that that could lock you into the game if you didn't have it set up correctly. That would be very annoying. So that's how you do that. All right, now we can go ahead and jump back into our start menu. Let's go over to the designer. And over here where it says the start button, let's go ahead and program the start button. So again, scroll down here, make sure is variable is checked, which it is. On clicked, hit the little plus symbol there. Now on click for the start button, we're going to want to open the level. And for us, we're going to be opening the level that the game is originally started on. So if I come over here and I go into third person, actually, I'm sorry, I go into levels, you'll see that level third person is the level where our game actually lives. So we want to open that level. So I can come over to the start menu here, and I'm going to pull off the execution pin, and I'm going to say open level. And I'm just going to do open level by name. You could also do it by object reference quite simply. And what is this? This is level third person. And you have to type it in exactly the same. So LVL underscore third person. Compile, save this, and then let's go in and play. Hit start, and here we are. We're in our game. So that works. Go ahead and exit out of that. Let's go ahead and comment that and say start game. That's not how you spell game. F2. There we go. Actually, this changes to green. And let's do it like this. All right. So in order to do the last one, we're going to do something a little bit different. So let's go back over to the designer, and for options, we could change the level. We could go somewhere else, but what we're actually going to do is I'm just going to go to another HUD. And to do that, I'm going to have to create another HUD. So I want an options HUD. So I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to go back into widgets, and I'm going to come down here to user interface widget blueprint, create another one, and I'm going to call this W underscore options. And inside of options, I'm going to do another canvas panel. I'm going to bring in another image onto the canvas panel. And this image is going to be different though this time. I'm going to use, God, what did I call it? Options. I'm just going to put a big text on the canvas panel, and And this is going to say options. And you can put whatever you want here. You can put 100 more buttons that do things, but all those need to be programmed. So just keep that in mind. And I'm going to compile and save this. I'm just going to show you how to do this because when you do this, you'll notice that it's going to have to do something a little bit specific here. So we're going to go back into our start menu, and then when you click on options, again, we'll come down here. Oh, it's not clicked, so that's because we're on the text. Let's go back onto is variable on clicked plus press plus. So on clicked for the options button, what we want to do is we want to remove this widget and go to another widget. So we will remove from parent and itself. So the widget, it's this widget. And then we want to create widget, which is going to be the new widget that we just created, the options widget. And then we're going to add to viewport. And then we will copy and we will save, press play. And now when we hit options, you'll notice that it goes to the options. Now, one thing you'll notice is that there's no way to go back from here. There's no quit button, there's no nothing. So we probably need at least one button that is a back button, right? So let's go ahead and build a back button into our new widget. So this works. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to comment this as options. And we will color that, I don't know, blue. Compile, save. And then over to options, and we will add one button. And then we will add also a text onto the button. Let's go, the button will be size to content, and we will actually just, let's enlarge this text a little bit so we can see it. And I know what you're thinking. This is pretty ugly, but that's okay. So this is the back button. Compile, save, back button. Make sure it's variable, which it is. And then on clicked. So we basically want to do the exact same thing that we did to get here, but we want to do it in reverse. So again, we want to remove this from parent. And then we want to create the widget. And in this case, the widget is going to be the start menu again, and then add to viewport. And we want to connect the return value to the target self, compile, save, press play, options, back, goes back. So, all right, guys, that's about it for me. That is how to make a really simple start menu. We can go into so many more different things in the blueprinting sections. But that is pretty much it for me. I hope you guys got something out of this video. And if you liked the video, make sure to go ahead and like and subscribe. I don't know if we still do that anymore, but yeah. All right. See you guys later. See you when I see you.